Teams already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets. There are some the league is afraid that there are some teams' games where you could get into the playoff game for $6. That is how low some of these ratings might be and how low some of these ticket prices might be. Let's get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification. Let's go. WNBA is in a frenzy.
The WNBA is facing a crisis that nobody saw coming because right now, playoff tickets are selling for less than the price of a fast food meal, with some seats going for just $9. And that shocking number tells the whole story of what happens when the league's biggest star is suddenly sidelined. Because without Caitlin Clark on the floor, the demand has completely collapsed. Ticket prices have plummeted to levels we've never seen before. And the panic inside WNBA headquarters is real, because executives know the ratings are about to sink, the arenas are about to look empty, and the harsh truth is being exposed in real time that one single player has carried the league's momentum all season long. And now, fans everywhere are asking the same question: what does the future of these playoffs even look like without her?
The WNBA is in a panic right now. The WNBA higher-ups are panicking. They don't know what's going to happen. I already let y'all know. I showed y'all the numbers that they was concerned about the playoff ratings and what they will be for the networks. They're concerned about it already. No Caitlin Clark here to carry everybody. They don't know how these numbers are going to look. Tickets are they're already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets. There are teams already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets.
Imagine this: playoff basketball, the most important games of the year, and yet tickets are being sold for the same price as a cup of coffee. Fans can literally grab a seat for $9, $12, maybe $13 if you want a better view. And that is absolutely unheard of in professional sports, because playoff games are supposed to be premium events, the moments when demand surges and arenas explode with energy, but in Indiana, it's the exact opposite. Tickets that once cost hundreds or even thousands when Caitlin Clark was healthy are now cheaper than a movie ticket, and that sudden collapse in value is the clearest signal yet that the entire market for the WNBA lives and dies with one player. It's not about the brand, it's not about the team, it's not even about the playoffs. It's about Caitlin Clark. And without her on the floor, the fever that once swept across the league has completely cooled, leaving executives scrambling and fans stunned at how fast the hype can vanish.
It's $9. This is the cheapest it's been to get into an Indiana Fever game all year. This is actually the cheapest it's been. Look, I still think it's going to be nearly a sellout, because I'm sorry, if I lived anywhere near Indiana, if it was 10 quid, I'd go to the game. I'd go to the game. I'd absolutely go to the game. I don't care. I'll pay $10. It's cheaper to be in the arena watching the game than it is to sit at home. Probably more expensive than it would cost to go to to pay for one game on Fever Direct, I'd say, if that's a thing.
Inside WNBA headquarters, the mood is anything but celebratory, because everyone knows that playoff basketball is supposed to be the crown jewel of the season, the product that television networks and sponsors rely on to justify billion-dollar deals. But instead of headlines about sellouts and surging demand, the story right now is empty seats, rock-bottom ticket prices, and executives quietly admitting that without Caitlin Clark, their entire postseason product looks fragile. And that's why panic is spreading, because these networks were promised record ratings. They were promised the Clark effect would carry into the playoffs. And now with her sidelined, the fear is those TV numbers will collapse, just like the ticket market. Imagine spending months hyping a golden era of growth, only to realize one groin injury has left the league exposed. Suddenly, the question isn't who will win the championship. The question is whether fans will even bother to tune in, and that brutal reality is shaking the WNBA at its core.
Understandable in this era to figure that tickets for playoff games are more expensive than the regular season, but Fever tickets for Tuesday night remain very affordable. $12, $13. I don't know what they're going to lie about as far as attendance goes. We're going to get into that momentarily. There are tons of tickets, hundreds of tickets available, if not thousands of tickets still available for tonight's game at a cheap price of a hoagie sandwich and a bag of chips from Wawa. You know, during Hoagie Fest, nonetheless. A hoagie and a bag of chips from Wawa, you can get into Gainesbridge Arena.
Just 1 year ago, the story was completely different, because the cheapest seat to watch the Indiana Fever in the first round of the playoffs started at $133. Fans were lining up, resale markets were exploding, and people were willing to pay premium prices just to be in the same building as Caitlin Clark. Fast forward to now, and those same playoff tickets are going for $9, $12, maybe $20 if you feel like splurging. Courtside seats that once pushed past $4,000 can now be snagged for $200, the kind of money you'd usually spend for a high school championship game. The fall is so dramatic, it feels like a parody. 1 year, the Fever were outdrawing the city's NBA team, forcing arenas to upgrade to bigger venues just to handle Clark's fan base. And now, those same seats are sitting empty because the superstar who created that frenzy isn't on the floor. It's not just a price drop, it's a collapse. And it proves exactly how much of the league's momentum was tied to a single player.
NBA is in a frenzy right now. The cash cow is not available to play. The golden goose is not available right now. That is Caitlin Clark. So now everyone has to get their numbers on their own. We saw Caitlin Clark bring in a whopping 1.8 million viewers for her first playoff game versus the Connecticut Sun last season. That was more than all of the other playoff games that was played that day combined. More than all of the other playoff games played that day combined. WNBA's.
When Caitlin Clark is on the court, the numbers speak for themselves. Last season, her very first playoff game against the Connecticut Sun pulled in 1.8 million viewers on television, more than every other playoff game combined that day. It was the kind of star power the WNBA had been chasing for decades. But when Clark sits, those numbers collapse instantly. Earlier this season, when she missed just 5 games, the league saw viewership drop by 55%. Matchups that normally cracked over 1 million viewers suddenly struggled to reach 350,000. Even the All-Star game, where she was supposed to be team captain, fell off by 36% when she couldn't play. That's not just a dip, that's a free fall, and it proves beyond any debate that Clark isn't just boosting the WNBA, she is the WNBA. Because fans are showing with their eyes and wallets that without her, they simply don't care. And that's the nightmare scenario networks and league executives are living through right now as these playoffs unfold.
Last year, the cheapest ticket available to see the Indiana Fever at the Connecticut Sun in the first round of the 2024 WNBA playoffs, $133. Let's just say it's not near that expensive this year. It's not. So right there, Indiana Fever just had Caitlin Clark cut a WWE promo. I'm waiting for CM Punk to run out of the tunnel. There's Mr. Punk right there.
When Caitlin Clark was healthy, the Indiana Fever weren't just a hot ticket, they were the hottest show in town. Home games were averaging more than 17,000 fans. They were outdrawing the Indiana Pacers. The road games were so packed that teams like the Washington Mystics had to move from a tiny 4,000 to 1,000-seat gym to a 14,000-seat arena just to handle demand. And the Chicago Sky even upgraded to the United Center so 20,000 people could watch Clark light it up. That was the Clark effect in full swing. But fast forward to these playoffs, and the contrast is brutal. Gainbridge Fieldhouse has entire rows of empty seats. Hundreds, if not thousands of tickets are still available hours before tip-off, and the prices are laughable. $9 to get in, $200 to sit courtside. It's the cheapest it's been all year, and fans still aren't biting. 1 month ago, people would mortgage a paycheck just to see her warm up. Now, they're scrolling past playoff tickets like it's a clearance sale. The atmosphere has gone from electric to eerie, and it's exposing just how fragile the league's momentum really island.
You can get courtside seats for $200. It is $200 to go sit courtside. Second row courtside behind the basket is $200. 1 to 3 tickets. It is $200 to sit courtside this game. This is, in fact, the cheapest. It is cheaper to go to this Fever game. This is the cheapest it's been to get into the Fever all year. Why? Why is it the cheapest? Because, well, you see, these tickets went on sale after the Indiana Fever announced Caitlin Clark was going to be in.
What's happening in Indiana isn't just a Fever problem, it's a WNBA crisis because the league built its entire growth narrative on Caitlin Clark. Sponsors signed record deals because she was drawing millions of eyes. Television networks invested billions into future media rights, assuming her star power would carry the product. And now, with her sidelined, the entire foundation looks shaky. Attendance that jumped nearly 50% last season is sliding back down. The sellouts that once made headlines are vanishing, and corporate partners who thought they were buying into a golden era are quietly wondering if they just bought into one player. The WNBA is learning in real time that its business model is dangerously top-heavy. One injury has exposed the truth. Without Clark, the TV ratings nosedive, the merchandise stalls, the buzz disappears, and even playoff basketball looks like an afterthought. This isn't just about cheap tickets. It's about the league staring straight into the mirror and realizing their biggest growth spurt in history might have been built on a single fragile shoulder.
The last time the Indiana Fever posted a video of Caitlin Clark talking was almost a month ago. But they know who they need to post when it's time to sell tickets. Damn! Putting CC front and center only when it's time to sell tickets. Oh boy. Oh boy. And we're talking about the tickets, folks. Don't hate the player, hit the game. I'm just a lonely messenger. That's it. Look at these ticket prices. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Look at these ticket prices. $13, $12, $55 for section 100, $27, $147 for section 5, $55 for section 19, $330 for courtside seats. Oh, snap.
The most brutal part of this entire story is how quickly the fans abandoned ship. Because these weren't casual observers, these were the people who traveled from Iowa to Indiana just to see Caitlin Clark play. They were camping outside arenas, buying every piece of merchandise, filling social media with highlight clips. They were the heartbeat of the WNBA's growth. But the moment Clark was officially ruled out for the playoffs, their loyalty evaporated. $9 tickets sat untouched, $200 courtside seats were ignored. Fans who once paid thousands now treated playoff basketball like background noise. It's not a knock on the other players, it's just reality. People don't connect with abstract concepts like parity or team balance. They connect with a star, and for the past 2 seasons, Clark has been that star. Her absence has turned what should have been a celebration of back-to-back Fever playoff runs into a bargain bin spectacle. The same supporters who were once driving record growth are now sending a clear message with their wallets. Without Clark, the magic isn't worth the price of admission.
But I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
What this playoff disaster has proven beyond any debate is that the WNBA cannot survive on one player, no matter how transcendent she is, because when your entire business model depends on a single 23-year-old point guard staying healthy, you're walking a tightrope with no safety net. The Fever built their identity completely around Caitlin Clark. The league marketed her as the face of women's basketball. And yes, she delivered record ratings, sold out arenas, and mainstream relevance. But the moment she goes down, the entire structure crumbles. Fans vanish, sponsors panic, and executives scramble to explain why playoff basketball looks like a clearance rack. This is the harsh wake-up call. If the Fever want a sustainable future, they need to protect Clark with better medical management and build real support around her. And if the WNBA wants long-term growth, it needs to elevate multiple stars who can carry the torch when one player can't. Because right now, the message from those empty seats and $9 tickets is loud and undeniable. The league is Caitlin Clark, and without her, it risks slipping right back into irrelevance.
They're already doing deals. Like they're trying to give you a free tire change. They're trying to give you a free car wash and all types of stuff to get out to these games. This is wild. Look at how empty this arena is. Look at how empty it is. The cheapest ticket, $6. Yeah, I could spot a nickel on the floor right there, row 2, section D1.
At the end of the day, those $9 tickets aren't just cheap seats. They're a flashing warning sign for the entire WNBA, proof that the league's historic rise wasn't built on stable ground, but on the shoulders of one player who can't even step on the court right now. Caitlin Clark turned Indiana Fever games into must-see television, and she dragged an entire league into the spotlight. But her absence has revealed just how fragile that spotlight really is. Without her, playoff basketball in Indiana has gone from electric to empty, from record-breaking to forgettable. And the brutal truth is staring everyone in the face. The WNBA needs Clark more than Clark needs the WNBA. So the question is not whether fans will come back when she returns. We know they will. The real question is, what happens the next time she's injured? The next time she sits? The next time the league has to stand on its own? Because until the WNBA figures out how to thrive without its golden goose, every empty seat at Gainbridge Fieldhouse will serve as a reminder that one player can make or break the future of an entire sport.